Well, yeah, I have a very sort of ambivalent view of myself as an artist or as a filmmaker. I mean, somebody once, when I was first starting in films in New York, says, if you want something on your gravestone in the film business, I think the best thing is filmmaker. If you can honestly say that, that's all you need to say. And that I think I would like that on my gravestone, along with whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Beyond that, I don't think it's possible to, or advisable, or even smart to call yourself an artist or talk about yourself as an artist. I mean, first of all, it's a business, and to forget that or ignore it or act like it's not there is just idiotic. And secondly, it's very difficult to know what will later be judged as art. I guess what I've tried to do is I've tried to make movies where I can honestly say I haven't seen that before, and to follow my deepest intuitions and in some cases literally my dreams, so that I don't feel like I'm copying something that's come before me, and to try to do things that speak to sort of the areas outside the fences, where the wild animals are still. Because it seems to me that the things that move us historically, both personally and nationally, are those things that aren't on the grid of rationality. It's funny, having traveled now in a lot of third world countries, and I just came back from Africa, it's like you see that every civilization has its own grid of what it thinks reality is and what is proper behavior and what is civilized. And usually what happens is that sooner or later that grid is shattered, and something like World War II happens, or you wipe out the Native American population, or Spain invades South America and decimates virtually every living creature there and takes over. And then suddenly the grid is back, and we're civilized, and we're religious, and we're this and that. But there seems to be a deeper grid that I've tried to find, and that is how the engine of life really works. And I think it works a lot off of violence, like it or not, and it works off a lot off of things that are not rational and very difficult to perceive, and in some ways can only be sort of adumbrated, sort of sketched and shadow played in films and in horror films. And it's not something I'm terribly happy about. I wish the world did run so there weren't Bosnias, and there weren't Rwandas, and there weren't Selmas, but that seems to be the way it goes about its business at significant times. And to try to capture that in symbols on film and to sometimes succeed, I think, is very exciting and gratifying. Beyond that, I have no idea whether anything I've done is of any significance or not. It's like the end of Casablanca in a way. Probably most of what we do doesn't amount to a hill of beans. But it's been fun. It's been fun to be in the business and to survive. It's been fun to sit in the back of audiences and watch them scream and jump and laugh. It's always gratifying to see how smart the audiences are, because quite often my audiences are the outcasts, the kids with the long hair and blacks and Hispanics and people that society thinks, discounts, and they're quite often the absolute quickest to grasp what I'm doing, much faster than the civilized critics and people that supposedly are supposed to have heads on their shoulders. So that's a good sign for civilization. I think ultimately the great civilization, which is whatever will allow us to survive, is that in the streets, in the theaters of the most popular movies, are very, very smart people, smart kids, and that's encouraging.